path of destruction.
You didn't expect it to be this bad, did you?
No, sir.
Louisiana sees its strongest windstorm in 164 years as Laura continues to tear its way up the south to the East Coast.
Plus, a Golden employee left battered and bruised. The confrontation caught on camera. The distillery says was all over wearing a mask.
This hits way too close to home for a lot of people.
And taking a stand. More leagues postpone games.
Plus, teams like the Broncos postpone practice in solidarity with the fight for social justice. The players are standing together as a team. More importantly, they are standing up for those who need them the most. That is just part of the Broncos' official statement on postponing the team's practice today. Instead, players and staff met for a few hours this morning to talk about social justice. And they're following the lead set by the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday, who decided to boycott their playoff game to stand in solidarity against the shooting of Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Plenty of leagues followed postponed games. That includes the NBA, WNBA, MLB, and Major League Soccer as well. So let's get to Denver7 Sports Director Lionel Bienvenu. Lionel, now the Rockies aren't going to play tonight.
Yeah, you're right, guys. Avs, Rockies, Broncos, Nuggets, and Rapids. From all going at the same time to all shut down again at the same time. Players in every major pro sport are coming together to protest social and racial injustice and police brutality. Late this afternoon, NHL players voted to postpone all playoff games today and tomorrow. So Game 4 between the Avalanche and Stars will be played at a later date. The NHL said it recognizes the tragedies involving Jacob Blake, George Floyd, and Breonna Taylor, and they pledged to work to make positive change in society. The Avs right here won Game 3 last night, but the Stars still lead that series 2-1. Now, the Rockies and D-backs were supposed to play at 4:10 this afternoon, but that was postponed right before it started. The Rockies released a statement saying players are standing in solidarity with athletes and sports teams against social injustice. Here's manager Bud Black.
These are times when conversations are happening and emotions are being shown. And I think these are good things because we're talking about situations in our country that are real and need to change.
Well, the Broncos had a team meeting this morning. They decided they would not take the field for day 11 of training camp. Our Broncos insider Troy Rank talked to safety Justin Simmons, who said players talked about meeting with city officials to demand change, and they just couldn't focus on football today.
You know, we demand change, and we got to hold ourselves accountable as guys, as leaders in this community. We got to make sure that we're doing a better job of not just saying and talking, the talk, but walking the walk as well.
And in Orlando, NBA players had a meeting and voted to postpone today's playoff games, which included Game 6 between the Nuggets and the Jazz. No Nuggets game today. The playoffs will continue at some point, maybe as early as tomorrow. The Nuggets are down 3-2 in that series. So we have so many more details, guys. Complete reports on all the games canceled. That's right now on thedenverchannel.com.
All right, Lionel, thank you.
And tonight we are continuing our 360 look at the impact of the players taking a stand and seeing what fans have to say about it. So you can catch all that tonight. Denver7 News at 6.
A new executive order has been signed by Governor Polis that looks to keep the state workforce diverse and inclusive. So it has 4 key components: establishing a universal policy to guide state agencies, requiring mandatory implicit bias training, creating a tool to measure progress, and addressing systemic inequities in the state's hiring process.
My goal is really a state and administration that serves everyone, in which everyone is well served. It's Colorado for all. And we don't just embrace, we celebrate the idea that no two people are exactly alike.
The governor's executive order was signed just before tomorrow's anniversary of the 1963 March on Washington. There will be a unity march in downtown Denver tomorrow morning on the anniversary around 10 o'clock near the state capitol.
Shoving a Golden Distillery employee to the ground because he didn't want to follow mask orders. We have new video for you at 5. So watch the top left-hand corner. The Golden Moon Distillery says their employee was simply enforcing mask guidelines when the man in the white shorts there shoves him to the ground. Police were called, and 62-year-old John Roche was charged with trespassing and harassment. And right now on Denver7, we are speaking with the distillery owner about what happened, and you can watch that tonight on Denver7 News at 10.
Denver's Department of Public Health announced today more than 13,000 warnings have been issued to businesses over COVID-19 compliance orders. 124 businesses have been cited. 13 have been ordered to close. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock says coronavirus cases are up slightly in the city, and they are seeing about 45 to 50 new cases each day. And here's a look at where we are at the state level. 350 new cases since yesterday, bringing Colorado's total to more than 56,000. And 213 beds are currently being occupied by COVID-19 patients here in our Colorado hospitals. There are still thousands of beds available for coronavirus patients.
So this is new aerial footage we have from Lake Charles, Louisiana, where you can see, look at it, dozens and dozens of mobile homes just shredded by Hurricane Laura. Laura came ashore overnight along the western Louisiana coast, and even now, hours after landfall, is still a potent storm heading east.
Reporter Maya Rodriguez is in Lake Charles, where people are starting to return to their homes, or at least what's left of them.
An old military tailgate.
Leonard Harrison tells everyone he meets to call him by his nickname, Country.
We've come to Lake Charles to see who we could help.
Country came with Goliath, his personal high water vehicle, which can make its way through 5 feet of water and into areas hit hard by storms.
When I come in, I can literally rescue 18 at once, get everybody in the truck and drive them all out, get them to safety and get back in and get 18 more.
He's part of the U.S. Veterans Corps and drove 14 hours from his home in North Carolina to support the so-called Cajun Navy, a nonprofit group of boat owners who began rescuing people after Hurricane Katrina.
And that's what the Cajun Navy's known for.
And now they're here for Laura, with storm damage that residents in this corner of Louisiana are just coming to grips with. There are some things that just don't mix, among them hurricanes, power lines, and trees. And you can see that kind of damage right down this street where a number of power lines have come down because of Hurricane Laura. Damage like this can be seen throughout southwest Louisiana, and power companies say it could be weeks before some people get their power back. But that isn't stopping some residents like Dietrich Broussard from trying to see if they can come back before then.
I guess I was trying to rush to come and see the damage.
We followed him as he looked around his home for the first time since Hurricane Laura hit. His relief, palpable.
I thought it was going to be worse. I'm happy so far. I just don't know what's inside of there, but yeah, I'm happy with how it stood up. That's great.
But for many, getting back up on their feet will take a while here. A long cleanup process only just beginning. In Lake Charles, Louisiana, I'm Maya Rodriguez.
And they drove through the night, but crews from here in Colorado made it to Louisiana just before Laura hit last night. And these are brand new images from West Metro Fire, part of the Colorado Task Force 1 arriving in Shreveport. That crew of 80 will stay there and help with local search and rescue efforts.